Hello everyone, welcome to your science class. Today we are going to discuss about types of plants. So plants and animals, these are living beings. We study about living beings in biology. So the branch of science that deals with living beings is called biology, and the branch of biology that deals with the study of plants is called botany. Here in this chapter we are going to discuss about plants. Plants are living beings which prepare food themselves. The place where the plants grow, live, and reproduce is known as habitat of plants. The plants can be divided into two categories on the basis of habitat. They are aquatic plants and terrestrial plants. So, let's discuss more about aquatic plants first. Plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants. These plants are also known as hydrophytes. The aquatic plants can be categorized as free floating, partly submerged, and fully submerged. Once again, the aquatic plants can further be categorized as free floating, partly submerged, and fully submerged. These are some aquatic plants: hydrophytes, beautiful water plants. Now, let's talk about floating plants. The plants which float on the surface of water are called floating plants. Pistia, lemna, water hyacinth, these are some examples of floating plant. Next one is partly submerged plants. The plants that are rooted under the water, but their leaves or flowers rise up to float on the water surface are called partly submerged plants. Some examples of partly submerged plants are lotus and water lily. As we can see in the picture too, their roots are under the water, but their flower and leaves are floating on the surface of water. So these are called partly submerged plants. Now next one is submerged plants. These plants are found completely underwater. Examples are Hydrilla and Vallisneria. These plants grow completely underwater, so these are called underwater plants too. These are submerged plants. Now, let's discuss some of the features of these aquatic plants. The stem and leaves of some aquatic plants have air spaces. These air spaces make the plants light and help to float in water. These plants have very poor developed roots. These plants have very poorly developed roots. These plants also have broad leaves, and all the parts of aquatic plants are covered with waxy substances which protects them from decaying. Okay, and the leaves of floating plants have stomata on the upper surface. The stomata helps to exchange gases for respiration and photosynthesis. So these are the features of aquatic plants. Now the next type of plant on the basis of habitat is terrestrial plant. Terrestrial plants, the plants which grow and reproduce on land, are called terrestrial plants. They have well developed roots and are usually thin and bear large number of stomata on their lower surface. Terrestrial plants can grow in different climatic conditions. Some of the plants in different climatic zones we are going to discuss in today's class too. So the first type of climate is cold climate. Plants that grow in cold climate. These plants have some features which are given here. The plants which grow in cold climate, they are generally in the form of cone shaped. These plants grow to form a cone shaped body, so these are also called conifers. They have small and needle shaped leaves, and the leaves are covered with a waxy substance which helps to reduce the loss of water from the leaves. And generally, these plants are tall and strong. Some of the examples are pine, cycas, fir, deodar, etc. These are the features and some examples of plants that grow in cold climate. We can see in the picture too. These are plants growing in cold climate. The first picture is of pine, second is cycas, third one is deodar. Now, the next type of climatic zone is moist and shady places. Plants that grow in moist and shady places, they grow in moist and damp soil. They require very less sunlight, so they can grow in shady places too. The roots of these plants are very thin and short. Most of these plants are green. For example, fern, mosses, liverworts, these are green plants, but some of the plants like mushroom, these are non-green too. These non-green plants, they cannot carry out photosynthesis, means they cannot prepare their own food, so they depend on dead and decaying organic matters of plants and animals. So the examples are fern, mushroom and liverworts, as we can see in the picture too. Now the third one is plants that grow in moist and warm climate. The plants that grow in moist and warm climate, they usually grow in seashores. They generally are tall and strong trees. They have well developed root system and these plants have less number of branches. Some examples are coconut, rubber plant and palm tree. These are its examples. Now the next type is the plants that grow in warm and dry climate. Generally, the deserts have warm and dry climates. These type of plants growing in warm and dry climate are called xerophytes. The xerophytes also have some features which we are going to discuss now. They have green and fleshy stem to store water and also help in photosynthesis. The leaves of these plants are modified in the form of thorns or spines. This helps to reduce water loss by the process of transpiration. These plants also have well developed roots to absorb water and minerals. The stem is covered with thick waxy materials called cuticle, and the cuticle prevent the loss of water from the surface of stem. Some examples of this type of plants are agave, aloe vera, cactus, opuntia, etc. These are some examples of plants growing in warm and dry climate. So, in today's class, we discussed about types of plants on the basis of their habitat. I hope you understood. Thank you very much.